In recent weeks, the Navy has supported our mission to blow the cartel terrorists the hell out of the water. You see that?
1307 local time, Central Caribbean Sea. The sky is a perfect unbroken blue. Sunlight glints across the steel hull of the USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke class destroyer slicing through calm glass-like water at 18 knots. A typical day on patrol under Operation Sentinel South, the joint U.S. Navy and Coast Guard mission aimed at intercepting smuggling routes spilling out of Venezuelan waters. But calm seas mean nothing when the radar blinks. Inside the Combat Information Center, the silence snaps. 3 new contacts appear southwest, bearing 243, range 21 nautical miles, moving fast. Bridge CIC. We have 3 surface tracks, no AIS formation tightening. The captain looks up from the chart table. Condition 3. Set and man all key stations. Steel shifts, deck plates vibrate, boots hit metal. Below decks, loaders slam home, ammunition feeds. On the bridge, sunlight cuts through the glass like a blade. The watch crew moves in silence, calm but alert. Everyone knows the drill. This is the part before things start happening fast. The radar operator calls out again, contacts accelerating, now 26 knots and closing. The captain's reply is soft controlled. Maintain ROE. Track but do not target. CIC confirm flag of origin. Seconds pass. Then the reply, possible Venezuelan. Low radar, cross-section, small hulls, maybe patrol craft. The bridge officer leans to the window, scanning with binoculars. Nothing visible yet. Just sunlight dancing on the sea. Still no visual confirmation, he reports. The horizon looks peaceful, but in the CIC, the digital horizon tells another story. The cluster of contacts is tightening, maneuvering like a wolf pack. Not random. Intentional. Bridge EW Suite Online, says the electronic warfare officer. Passive mode. Logging all emissions. The hum of the SLQ-32 system fills the background, faint but ever present, like a pulse running through the ship. Each radar ping, each stray signal from the unknown boats is captured and cataloged. Any comms, the captain asks. First hail sent in English, no response. Send again in Spanish. The message goes out across the open channel, clear and steady. Venezuelan naval vessels, this is a United States warship operating lawfully in international waters. Alter course immediately and acknowledge. Silence. Only static answers back. On deck, the destroyer's 5-inch Mark 45 gun slowly pivots, a subtle gesture, deliberate and visible. It doesn't aim to fire. It aims to remind. Up in the mast, the AN. Spy 1D radar keeps sweeping, rotating a full 360 degrees, its invisible beam carving the horizon into geometry. Every pulse paints a picture more precise than the human eye. 1312. The CIC logs a new reading. Contacts now at 17 nautical miles. Speed increasing 29 knots. Bearing unchanged. The formation has stabilized into a shallow wedge, the lead ship cutting a wake straight toward Gravely's beam. On the bridge, the executive officer watches the range counter drop. They're not shadowing, they're closing. The captain stands behind the helmsman, eyes on the navigation plot. The destroyer is 14.3 nautical miles from Venezuelan territorial waters, still well within international law. But one wrong degree, of course, and this routine patrol becomes tomorrow's headline. Helm maintain present heading. Keep us inside the boundary by 3 miles. CIC keep recording. The ship vibrates as turbines spool slightly higher. The sun beats down on the deck, reflecting off the ocean in harsh white light. Sailors shield their eyes, scanning the horizon for shapes that still aren't there. Only the radar sees the truth. Down below, the CIWS teams power up their systems. The 6-barreled Gatling guns whine softly as hydraulics engage. The loader checks the ammo drum, 1550 rounds of tungsten, ready to turn incoming threats into vaporized metal. In the hangar bay, the MH-60R Seahawk crew begins pre-flight. Razor 2-1 prep for launch on standby. Rotor tie-downs come off. The crew chief yells above the rising pitch of machinery. Even before liftoff, the helicopter is part of the message America has eyes in the sky. 1315. Radar shows range 9 nautical miles. Bridge to all stations stand by for visual contact. Sailors gather near the rails, scanning southward. Then faint shapes break the horizon. 3 low-slung hulls dark against the glare. Foam sprays high off their bows. Visual confirmed, the officer reports. Venezuelan patrol boats bearing 243 range 8 miles and closing. On the bridge, nobody raises their voice. The captain's tone stays level. Copy. Maintain course. No radar locks. Weapons hold. The destroyer keeps moving steady and unflinching, cutting through the heat haze. From this point forward, every move, every silence, every unanswered call is evidence. Out here, a show of restraint can be louder than a missile launch. The horizon is no longer empty. The intruders are coming fast, and Gravely is ready, recording everything. The real test of strength hasn't begun yet. 1321 local time. The Venezuelan patrol boats are now close enough that the Gravely's deck cameras can make out crew movement. 3 silhouettes per vessel, helmets gleaming under the sunlight, 1 man at the helm, another near the bow, no visible heavy weapons, but no fishing gear either. Their running lights stripped down, built for speed. Their wakes carve white scars across the blue Caribbean, converging toward the destroyer's beam. Inside the Combat Information Center, tension holds steady at a professional hum. Contacts now inside 7.2 nautical miles, the tracking officer announces. Formation stable, parallel approach. The captain doesn't flinch. Maintain course and speed. No targeting radars. Show posture only. The bridge team moves with mechanical precision. The helmsman keeps the heading locked 185 degrees true, holding the destroyer precisely 14 nautical miles off Venezuelan territorial waters. Any closer and lawyers start calling it provocation. Any farther and it looks like retreat. The Gravely stays in the narrow lane of legality that defines modern naval diplomacy, power balanced by discipline. Bridge to all stations, the captain says into the intercom, his voice even. No one touches a trigger. We match their movements, nothing more. On deck, sailors pull off tarps, exposing the Sea Whiz close-in weapon systems. The twin turrets rotate on command, their 6 barrels gleaming in the sunlight. It's not aggression, it's visibility. The captain wants the Venezuelans to see what they're dealing with. The ship's 5-inch Mark 45 gun shifts in traverse, just enough for its barrel to point south, not aimed, but positioned. From sea level, it looks like readiness incarnate. Then the radio crackles to life. A voicemail accented tense. This is Venezuelan Navy patrol vessel. You are operating close to our territorial waters. Identify your mission immediately. The Gravely's comms officer replies without hesitation. Venezuelan naval vessel, this is United States warship operating in international waters. We are conducting lawful patrol under Operation Sentinel South. Maintain safe separation and acknowledge static. Then nothing. The line goes dead. 1324. Radar shows the Venezuelan formation adjusting. The lead boat holds steady at 28 knots, but the 2 wingmen angle outward, widening the triangle. It's a textbook intimidation maneuver, the classic flank and shadow. CIC marks them on the tactical map in red, blue, and yellow. Targets now holding formation within 5.3 nautical miles. Bearing unchanged. The captain's eyes never leave the tactical display. Engineering confirmed full power on turbines. Confirmed, sir. Good. Keep her ready to maneuver. A ripple of movement spreads across the Gravely's main deck. Sailors secure loose gear clip into harnesses. The Sea Whiz turrets align with automated precision, their sensors tracking heat signatures and radar cross-sections. Even though safeties are engaged, every man on board knows that one wrong blip, one sudden missile radar tone could flip the ship from surveillance to survival in seconds. 1, 3, 2, 6. Razor 21 ready for launch. Comes the call from the flight deck. Launch authorized, the captain responds. The MH-60R Seahawk lifts off in a spray of mist, its rotor wash flattening the whitecaps below. The helicopter banks hard to port, climbing to 600 feet. Razor 21 to Gravely, eyes on all three vessels, distance 4.9 nautical miles and closing. Inside the Seahawk's cabin, the sensor operator adjusts the MX-20 FLIR turret. On his screen, the Venezuelan boats glow white against the sea, their engines radiating heat signatures like streaks of fire. Recording all data, he says, into his headset. They're maintaining parallel course now, matching our speed. Copy, maintain observation, the captain replies. From the helicopter's altitude, the pattern is obvious. 3 Venezuelan hulls, shadowing the destroyer at flank speed, deliberately mirroring its course. It's a game of inches and nerve. 1, 3, 2, 9. The Gravely's electronic warfare suite detects a faint radar emission, low-frequency short burst. EW reports surface search ping from Sierra 1, no fire control tone detected. Copy, says the captain. Mark it and continue passive monitoring. The bridge is bright with daylight, but the air feels heavy. Every eye follows the digital clock above the window. The destroyer's helm remains steady, cutting the sea like a scalpel. Then another transmission, this time more direct. This is Venezuelan Navy patrol vessel Almirante Garcia. You are operating inside the Bolivarian security zone. Alter course or you will be escorted out. The captain's response is ice cold. Venezuelan vessel, this is USS Gravely. We do not recognize any claim beyond internationally established boundaries. We will maintain our current course and speed. For a long moment, the only sound is the wind across steel. Then CIC calls out again. Venezuelan lead, slowing to 23 knots. Others matching speed. They're holding distance. 1, 3, 3, 1. From the bridge, binoculars catch the scene. Venezuelan sailors standing near their bow, one with a smartphone raised, likely filming. Another waves an arm palm open, the universal signal, not hostile but watching. The captain exhales slowly, then turns to his XO. They got their footage. They'll back off soon. Sir, you think they're testing us. They're not testing, the captain says. They're signaling 1333. The Seahawk circles high overhead, its FLIR lens zoomed in on the lead Venezuelan boat. The pilot's voice crackles over the net. Visual shows course change, they're turning east away from our path. The captain nods. Bridge log time and bearing. Maintain present heading. Do not pursue. The crew doesn't cheer. They just log it. 1334 range, widening, CPA increasing. The crisis is cooling down 1 nautical mile at a time. Above the calm blue sea, the destroyer holds steady, unmoved, unshaken, and still watching. No rounds fired, no damage done. But the message has been delivered clearly in daylight for everyone to see. 1334 local time. The Venezuelan patrol boats begin to drift east, throttling back to 18 knots. Their wakes flatten against the glare of the Caribbean sun. The standoff dissolves into silence, no radio farewell, no visible acknowledgement. Just a subtle change, of course, that says everything without a word. The Gravely holds steady engines, humming at patrol speed. The destroyer doesn't follow. It doesn't need to. The mission was never to chase it, was to endure. Up on the flight deck, the Seahawk circles one last time. Razor 21 to Gravely, Venezuelan vessels, turning away, heading east-northeast. No weapons visible. No emissions detected. Copy that, Razor 21. Return to base. The helicopter banks back toward the destroyer, slicing sunlight with its rotors. As it descends, sea spray kicks up around the deck crew waiting with tie-down chains. By 1340, the Seahawk is secured. Its engines wind down with a long metallic sigh, the kind that only comes after tension held too long. Inside the Combat Information Center, sailors replay the radar data frame by frame. Each ping, each transmission, each vector gets logged and encrypted for transfer to U.S. Southern Command. On the digital map, the red icons representing the Venezuelan patrol boats slide eastward and fade to gray. The room exhales. The operation is complete. On the bridge, the captain stands by the chart table, sunlight reflecting off the brass compass housing. CIC confirmed transmission to Southcom. Confirmed, sir. All logs sent. Good. Helm maintain present heading. Resume standard patrol. That's how these encounters end. Not with a bang, but with a report. 1, 3, 4, 5. Below decks, the rhythm returns. Sailors remove helmets, stretch arms, wipe sweat from their collars. In the galley, someone brews coffee. On the flight deck, crewmen coil tie-down cables and wipe salt off the Seahawk's canopy. Life resumes, but nobody forgets what almost was. In gray zone waters like these, tension is routine, and routine is survival. Strategically, what happened in the past 40 minutes is anything but minor. The USS Gravely wasn't just patrolling, it was enforcing a message. Operation Sentinel South, launched earlier that year, is Washington's front line against narcotics networks tied to Venezuela's coastline. Destroyers and Coast Guard cutters patrol the Caribbean to intercept smuggling vessels before they reach U.S. waters. On paper, it's law enforcement. In practice, it's power projection. Just 4 days earlier, a U.S. Navy helicopter intercepted 2 suspected cartel speedboats west of Curacao. One refused to stop. The Seahawk fired a warning flare. The vessel ignored it and was sunk minutes later. Caracas called it an act of aggression. The Pentagon called it self-defense. Now Venezuela's Navy is pushing back step by step through presence and provocation. But for the Gravely's crew, politics aren't their concern. Their job is simpler. Hold the line, record everything, and make sure nobody can say they fired first. The ship's sensors, Aegis radar, SLQ-32 electronic warfare suite, optical feeds turn every second into verifiable data. If the Venezuelans wanted a confrontation, they didn't get one. What they got was documentation. 1352. From the bridge, the sea looks calm again. The Venezuelan patrols are barely dots on the horizon now, but every sailor knows this isn't over. Encounters like these are part of a growing pattern, what analysts at Southcom call controlled friction. It's the kind of pressure that stays political right up until it isn't. In the operations log, the XO writes a single note: no engagement, no escalation. Mission sustained. It sounds dull, but in the Caribbean, dull is victory. 1, 3, 5, 5. The captain steps out onto the deck, wind pressing against his uniform. The light glints off the water so bright, it hurts to look at. He studies the empty horizon for a moment, then turns back toward the bridge. They wanted a reaction, he says quietly to his XO. We gave them presents. The XO nods. That's all they needed to see, sir. By 1400, the destroyer resumes her patrol route, a steel shadow tracing the line between law and confrontation. The horizon ahead is wide open, but everyone aboard knows it can change in an instant. Out here, peace isn't silence. It's the space between decisions. For U.S. Southern Command, today's log will read like a small success. No weapons discharged, no violations, no incident. But for those who stood on the Gravely's deck, hands on metal eyes, locked on the horizon, it was something more than success. It was proof of discipline. Proof that restraint, when executed perfectly, is its own kind of power. Because at sea, you don't always win by firing first. Sometimes you win by not firing at all. So here's the question for you. If you were in command of the Gravely that afternoon, would you have fired a warning shot or held steady and trusted the calm? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you want to help bring more real-world naval stories like this one to the surface, join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority responses, and the satisfaction of supporting the people who turned the world's most intense maritime encounters into history. Fair winds and following seas. I'll see you in the next one.